As triathletes, it probably didn't take you long to realise that your bike needs a little maintenance and TLC from time to time. And then we have another two sports of all sorts of extra gear that needs looking after. So over the years, I've worked out a few essential tools that I just can't do without. So here's my list of tools that every triathlete should own. First one, and one that I'm sure most of you already have, a set of Allen keys or wrenches. Now there are numerous nuts and bolts on a bike that will need adjusting from time to time, whether it's after traveling and you're reinstalling your seat post and you have to retighten the seat clamp, or even just to make some fine, quick adjustments to your gears. So to make your life easier, most bolts on a bike have 6 contact points, needing our well-known tool, the Allen key, or also known as the Hex key. And rather than traveling around with a handful of different size Allen keys, you can of course use a multi-tool which will have all the popular Allen key sizes, including a few extras like screwdriver or Torx keys that you'll find on some other bikes. Neoprene glue. Now, fortunately, this isn't one that I've had to use too many times, but having seen some very panicked friends the day before race day with a hole in their wetsuit, I always travel with this now. So neoprene glue is a fast and simple way to repair any minor cuts or holes in your wetsuit without having to send them off for repair. There's nothing worse than discovering a small hole in your wetsuit the day before race day. Perhaps it's during a course recce, and then you're rushing around trying to find some of this glue or even a new wetsuit. And actually, even just the smallest of holes can risk slowing you down. So all you need to do is, if you spot one, glue it back together and then forget worrying about it. A GPS watch and computer. Now, as triathletes, we can be a little bad for getting stuck into our tech, our numbers, and our data. And that's normally through the means of a GPS watch or bike computer, but there is a good place for them. So if you're looking to improve your performance, then these are such a valuable tool. They can display real-time information such as the speed that you're running or the power that you're riding on the bike. Another good example is perhaps you're in a new place and you're doing 1 kilometer run reps in a session and you want to know how far you've been. Well, you can do that with a GPS watch and it will indicate where the kilometer mark is. And then when you're done with your session, you can analyze your data, you can track your distances and really just make sure that your training is on track. The torque wrench. Now, I'll admit it took me far longer than it should have to get one of these. So have you ever noticed those numbers next to a bolt saying X amount of Newton meters, or NM for short? And there's actually a very good reason for them, because you really don't want to crank down on them too much when you do have to fasten a bolt. So if you do over tighten them, you could risk cracking carbon or shearing the aluminium. And then actually for a lot of the smaller bolts, they don't need a whole deal of torque. So you can actually get away with one of these smaller tools that are actually really nice and portable too. Now for something a little different, the foam roller. Now you may not think of this as a tool, but it maintains something fairly important, which is you. Now it's not for everyone, but personally I can't do without it. It keeps your muscles in check, it relieves tightness, and it can even help to keep niggles at bay. And I'm going to be honest here, they're not the most pleasurable to use. They can be pretty horrific, but that's probably a sign that you should be using one more. And as you would with your training, just work up to using one of these. They can be particularly uncomfortable on your ITB and your quadricep muscle area. So just apply pressure with time. And then another really cool feature with a lot of these is that they can be hollow. So if you are traveling with one, you can just stuff some luggage inside them to save space. Electrical tape. Now I never travel without this, and I'll be honest, I'm not entirely sure what I use it on, but I do go through an awful lot of it, so it's clearly pretty useful. It does come in handy for things like traveling when you're wrapping your bike in bubble wrap, and this will just attach that really nicely. Also on race day, when you're attaching your gels to your bike or your spare tube or CO2 canister. I've actually even used it for aerodynamic reasons, so I've been covering up holes on my frame or tidying cables away. Aesthetics, you could tidy up your bar tape with it, and I've even heard of people using it on their wedding rings, so just make sure that it keeps the wedding ring on their finger. Well, there we go. There's some of the essential tools that you definitely won't see me without, but there are so many more. So please do drop your tools in the comments section below. And to subscribe to GTN, just click on the globe to see loads more videos from us. And we spoke a little bit today about a foam roller, and Heather's actually done a great video explaining how to use one, and you can see that by clicking up here. And on the subject of tools and packing, we have a traveling triathlete video and what you should pack as a triathlete. You can see that by clicking down here.